Well, I'm going to start with a little bit of an introduction. We have a full program for you guys today, so I don't want to go ahead and make the most of the time. Thank you for joining us. I'm Celia Fryer. I'll be your MC for the day, and I'm joined by my awesome co-leads, Professor Eric Lacey from University of San Francisco, and Joshua from Stanford University. Do you guys want to just quickly introduce yourselves since we're a newer tug? It would be great if y'all would do that. I didn't ask them in advance, but if y'all would do that, that'd be excellent.
Sure, Eric Lacey from USF, and actually, the business analytics major is the sponsor for this user group.
That's
So,
right.
welcome everyone.
Thank you so much, Eric. Josh, over to you, man.
Sure. This is Joshua Vijay. As you mentioned, at Stanford University, specifically with the School of Medicine. So active in the DataFam community, and just very happy to be part of this group, and looking forward to what Christian and Anne have to share today. So thank you everybody for joining.
Thank you very much. I'm Celia Fryer. I'm a Tableau Academic Ambassador. I'm also adjunct at University of San Francisco, and I do training by day with Matrix. So very much have enjoyed being a part of people's journeys to get into analytics and to make the most of what Tableau has to offer. And along with that, our program, I'm going to just do a little bit of announcements, and I'm going to get us quickly over to Anne, who's our spotlight today. In terms of upcoming events, we want to draw your attention to that the end of April, we're going to have another virtual meeting as a part of this semester, and we're fortunate to have Andy Kriebel on the schedule for coming and chatting with us. As probably if you've been around the Tableau ecosystem much, you'll have heard of him. He's pretty well known. He's Tableau visionary and Hall of Famer. He's out of London now. Started his career at Coke, and eventually, at the very beginning, was just invited to, hey, can you go learn this in about 2007 with Tableau, and that's what started his journey. Well, he'll be here to talk to us about his life in analytics and then recommendations on getting started and making the most of the space. And that will be Thursday, April 30th at noon Pacific time. And then if you haven't evaluated it yet, we can encourage you to consider coming to Tableau conference in May. It is remarkable, and the energy around it is notable and exceptional. And I run out of superlatives really quickly for it. So it's in San Diego at the convention center there, and last year there was around 8,000 people, and it was just remarkable to be with that many people who were focused on communicating insights for people and using Tableau to do that. And then today on our agenda, we have Anne Stolzman, who's going to be our community spotlight person. I'm going to pass this on to her in a moment, as well as Cristian Saavedra, that many of you may know from the data dev community. So our virtual meeting, we've got chat open. Love to see where you're coming in from. Thank you for those of you that have participated so far. And as our speakers chat, if you have questions for them, feel free to put them in there. We'll be watching it, and we're going to try our best to save a little room for Q&A at the end. But most of our friends here like to have more of an interactive conversation. So as hosts, we'll be watching the chat, and if there's something that we can interject with, we'll do our best to do that. And the recording will be published and sent out on the DataFam channel within couple days after being finished up here. So if you've not already joined the Tableau community Slack channel, you're missing out. So I'm just going to invite you one more time, because I think that I'll probably will invite people every time, to be fair. It's a great place to get to know other people, have quick access to a lot of folks who are very devoted to it. And there's help channels, announcements for tugs, announcements for jobs, you name it, it's over there. So feel free to jump in. Last time I checked, there was just shy of 18,000 people in that channel. So it's a way to have quick access to an interesting focus group of folks. And then to kick us off today, Anne Stolzman, who's one of our lead analysts at Rivian, and she has had an illustrious career in visualization and data analytics as a larger, with all the tools that would come into that broader circle these days. She recently was awarded a DataFam Rising Star, the cohort for this year. And she does amazing work and participates heavily in the Makeover Mondays. And I've asked her to come and talk about some about her journey to encourage you, and then also to just kind of share and show some of the things that she's really enjoying. She's also co-leading the Data Plus Women Tug for the West Coast. And that's been a relatively new thing which you guys just started in the fall. Is that about right, Anne?
Yeah, we
so
had our first meeting in October.
Okay, right on. And I'm really excited to see that grow. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen so you guys can see her instead of this slide. And Anne, you want to just kick it off? Talk us a little about through your journey and how you've arrived at this moment where absolutely a thought leader with visualizations. And over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. Ann Stolzman. I have 30 years in the data tech, silly.com valley infrastructure that exists. Gosh, where do I start? I came out of college expecting to basically run Wall Street, and life took me on a different path. I've held roles in marketing, in customer operations, in vendor operations, in sales support. I did a stint as a product development manager, building my own metrics product. So that was kid in a candy store. I have worked in cybersecurity, automotive, network security, you name it. And one of the things that I've spoken about in other places is embrace your rampant curiosity. If you pull on the threads in the data, look at everything. That is going to be one big piece of advice to all of you is follow that curiosity, because you might see something that somebody else hasn't seen, or you might have a different perspective on it. And part of that is also asking the questions, which allows you to network with everybody else around you.
That's really great. And that's such good advice. I really appreciate that. Do you mind sharing a little bit about your current role and how that, regardless of the tool set, how that it is that you are in a role of advising, and what we discussed the other day there? I think that would be very encouraging and instructive to lots of folks in pursuing this career path.
Absolutely. So I'm a lead analyst at Rivian Automotive, the folks that have the weird headlights on their electric cars. As you can see by my shirt, I have one. I'm also a Google guide for the company. That's how I got the neat shirt. But what I do in my role is I mentor other folks in the service business ops and the service analytics team on data visualization. That's not to say that's all I do. I do a lot of data visualization myself and a lot of insight analytics. But I really get my thrill out of mentoring. And that comes from the innate ability, desire that I have to spread information and spread education. To give a little background in how I fell into Tableau, like I said, I had 30 years of experience, and Tableau has not been around that long. I did everything in Excel. Everything was always in Excel. I built models there. I built visualizations there. I built full reporting suites there. It is possible, even in the old Excel. And then one day, I was messing around with, some data stuff, and somebody had suggested you should try this thing, Tableau, and I had landed at Tesla, and I had seen it and used it a little bit. And I wanted to get out of there fast and was interviewing at Cisco. And they said, hey, we have this person who's going on mat leave, and she uses this tool called Tableau. Do you know it? I'm like, messed around with it a little bit. I've built like a total of one bar chart. And they're like, great. Do you want to learn it? I'm like, sure. Okay, you're hired. It wasn't quite that easy, but it was very close to that. And so I started on that journey using Tableau. Now, along the way, and I fell in love with it, believe me, It's such a great tool. Along the way, there were a couple of companies that don't use Tableau. There was a stint I did a few years ago at Malwarebytes where we used products like Looker and Domo. And in all that time, while I was working there, I kind of fell away from Tableau. I wasn't doing community projects, I wasn't reading the forums, and I wasn't keeping up with the release. And in that 2020, 2021, maybe 2019 to 2021 period, a lot of things changed in Tableau. Their whole relationship model had changed out of the old join method to what they have now. There were a lot of other little features that came in that were very significant. And when I found myself deciding that, I should probably pick that up again, which incidentally, ironically, was about 2 months before I got laid off, I had missed out a lot. And it was like starting over from scratch. I stared at a blank canvas in Tableau and said, can't even remember how to build a bar chart. So I had to, get the wheels back on, so to say. And one of the things, I guess I should back up a little bit. The reason I got hired at Malwarebytes wasn't because I knew Tableau. Because as I said, they used Looker and Domo. The reason I got hired there was because I understood data visualization. And that's carried me into my current role as well. Because if you have a base set of skills in how to visualize data and how to understand it, you can go anywhere regardless of the tool. Right now, Rivian, they've gotten rid of Tableau. They are using Hex. We are using Hex. And we're actually migrating most of our stuff out of this Hex product because it's, in my opinion, kind of bad. We're using a tool called AI/BI out of Databricks. Databricks has their own data visualization product. And they're working with us to get it better, new features, other things that we need so that we can build the same kind of things that we built in Tableau. Because right now, everything has taken a significant step back. So, that said, visualization. I still mentor on visualization because a bar chart is a bar chart is a bar chart no matter where you go. It's how you look at it. Part of the reason that I impressed someone significantly in my interviews at Malwarebytes was because they presented me a bar chart and they said, tell me, what you get from this. And I'm like, I get nothing because there's no time series. There's no labels. There's, what is this supposed to be? And they told me what it was supposed to be. And I said, okay, here's how I would change it. And I would add this line for trending and I would do this other thing. And, you need to have some highlight coloring here. And by the way, the colors that you're using will fail any color accessibility filter for anyone who has a color deficiency in their eyesight. And they were like, wow, we didn't even think of that. So they hired me. And come to find a few years later down the road, I'm working for that same person here at Rivian. So
That's awesome. Yeah.
And part of that was because when I put in my application, I just went in blind. I knew they were here. And it passes across my former manager's desk, because I still I crossed between two teams now. And she showed it to him and he said, hire her.
Oh, awesome.
Absolutely, just hire her. So if you have those base skills and that curiosity, that will take you far, regardless of the tool that you use.
That's amazing. Do you mind sharing the story that you shared with me about when you took over a country acceleration dashboard, I think it was, and the choices that you made set you apart from the rest of, I love that. And I think that's real notable.
So at Cisco, no, not at all. So at Cisco, while I was learning Tableau, and I think I was probably about 3 weeks into the whole role, and I had consumed everything that was on Tableau's learning site, which was very different than it is now. And I had started looking on the forums for webinars or videos or anything. And I attended a meeting. I just happened to attend a training that had someone, and I should have looked up her name. I didn't look up her name, who had started the whole color deficiency, color accessibility discussions way back in the day with Tableau. And I looked at our various suites of dashboards, and one of them was a country acceleration where we were looking at total addressable market, and we are looking at across our tech stack of products of, this is great, but it doesn't seem to fit. It kind of fails. It's got this swimmy red and green Christmas tree thing going on, and the yellow is way too bright because it was kind of traffic lighty. And so I took to heart, let's make this a little bit easier to read. We'll add a little bit more call outs with some arrows. We'll deepen the red, we'll deepen the green, we'll take that yellow to a little bit of a more of an orangey color, and things, settled out really nicely. And there were some other graphs in that as well. It had other colors, and I just changed everything. And one day I'm sitting there a couple of weeks later, and I see this executive, a VP, walk in, and he talks to my manager, and she's sitting about 4 desks down from me. And she just, I don't hear what's said, but she points at me. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. And I'm like, okay, I got to pop out the earbuds and find out what's going on. Because this guy's coming towards me. And I had the dashboard up on my desktop because I was making an improvement. And as we always do. And he leans down and says, manager name, tells me you're responsible for this dashboard. And I'm like, yeah, I am. What can I help you with? And he's like, he leans in and he says, thank you for changing all the colors on it. I'm colorblind. And the call outs you made and the changes you made it so much easier for me to read. And I'm like, well, thank you. I'm glad that was able to help. And he's like, don't tell anyone. I'm like, your secret's safe with me. Who am I going to tell? That individual is still at Cisco. I will not say what role they are in or who they are. And you can try and pull my fingernails off all you want, but that's not going to happen.
It's not going to yield, huh?
But the fact that I was able to make that kind of impact with just a couple of simple changes made all the difference. It's those little things sometimes. And as Celia and I had discussed previously, one of the little things that came up was a lady by the name of Cole Nussbaumer-Knaflick. Cole was heavy on the forums back in 2014, in those early days. At least those were early days for me, 2013, 2014. And when it came out that she was writing a book, I had to go buy the book, Storytelling with Data.
There you go.
This has got a lot of those principles of keep it simple. And when she came out with the 10th anniversary edition, I went and got that too. Not a plug for Cole, just saying this is one of the things, her aesthetic and the way she presents how to make things simpler and still readable and get those call outs. And a lot of other people do that too. There's the Fab Four that wrote, what's the latest one? Dashboards That Deliver.
Right.
There's the Big Book of Dashboards.
Right.
There's Wexler's Big Picture. All of those ideas and simplifications really help drive that point across.
And you had a couple of dashboards you were going to show us, right?
I will happily show you a couple of dashboards.
Please.
So let me share. Celia asked me to pick my favorite children. And so I'm trying to pick my favorite children. The first one is actually the one that Celia and I met on over that Tableau Slack that she mentioned that you should all join because I was looking for a little bit of feedback. On my birthday last year, I released My Life in Pop Music, which was a passion project that was inspired by an Australian radio host who had said he was looking for every song that meant something in every year that he was born. And I thought, that's a great project. I'm listening to this in the shower, this podcast of the show, and going, that's a great idea. How would I visualize that? And so I went through the Billboard Top 40 for every year since I was born and pulled out every single song that meant something to me or that was significant for a reason in my life. Went to Chozick, pulled out vibes, have a quick little Spotify to be able to listen to a segment of the song, and the whole playlist is accessible if anybody wants to listen. And I update it every January 1st now. So at least I've updated once so far on January 1st, but that's going to be the goal. The next one is one I'm particularly proud of, was my Iron Viz entry for this year. The very first time I entered, despite being around the stratosphere for 13 years or more with Tableau. And as some of you may know, food and drink was the topic. And so I decided to focus in on the good foods of Stardew Valley and how people can gain friendship and how expensive those friendships can be. I have plans to expand this. I've had a couple of people tell me this is going to be in their side screen as they play, and I even use it too, so it's kind of great. Took a lot of time, a lot of hours, a lot of thought, a lot of care, and so I plan to continue. And my last favorite, and these are all in the highlight section on my Tableau Public, is the Dad Joke Database. This came out, I have a real fondness for bad puns, but this came out of a coworker who had started a Slack channel at work for dad jokes because he used to do it with his cousin every Tuesday. No idea why it's Tuesday. He doesn't even remember why it's Tuesday. He moved on. Someone else wrote a whole sheet of jokes, collecting it from the channel, and I decided to make it a dashboard. And I do add to it every week as new jokes come up in our Dad Joke Tuesday channel.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there we are.
That's so good. And I love that. I'm going to spend more time on your Tableau Public page. I can already tell. The couple final things, you were mentioning some other tools, like as someone who's doing this as a career pursuit, what would you say were some of the essential other things to add besides a data viz something,
Know your Excel very, very well. It will be your friend, especially for checking data. I'm kind of old school. Also, know your SQL because you can do data checks in your database. You can do them in SQL in your window. I'm kind of old school and I'll pull different checks into Excel and start pivoting them and working with them to see how is this going to look when I actually put it into the tool that I'm finally working with. Yeah, okay, the data matches up in this table what I think it should be, but what happens when I marry it to this other table and do a lookup? Am I getting the result, the true false that I need? Am I getting the filtering that I need? So for me, and a long time ago, someone said, well, you're going to have to know NoSQL and Mongo and Cassandra, and everything's going to be unrelated data. And I said, sure, that's great. And here I am 10 years later, and we're still working with relational data. So know your SQL, understand your schemas and your relational tables, know your Excel. And
Wonderful.
Know your data visualization basics regardless of the tool that you're in.
Regardless of the tool, right? That's so good. Okay, just as a final tip for the friends, what do you most enjoy outside of work? When you're not in front of creating art on your computer, what else? What would be your favorite go-to for other time?
I watch way too much TV.
Oh.
I love to read, I love to knit, and I love to bake cookies.
Awesome. All right. Brings the well-roundedness to the picture, right?
It does indeed.
And I think I hear that you also like spending time with your kids. So I'm just saying.
I do. When they are back in town, yes.
We have some spectacular kids. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Anne. I really appreciate you joining us. You guys check out Anne's Tableau Public profile. It's a visual treat. And, I hope you can take to heart some of the advice that she's offered today, because I think that it really could be beneficial to learn from those who've gone before. So I'm just going to say that a little bit there. And I'm going to pass the baton to our friend and colleague, Cristian Saavedra, and he has a newer title, but lead architect at Geometrics. He basically is our go-to guy for just about everything because he can do all the way through to creating his own code to make it happen to visualization. So he is the whole the completed end-to-end kind of solution person. He's a Tableau visionary. He's a data dev ambassador 5 times over. Goodness, Christian. He also co-leads the Data Dev Tug. He's been an author of the Data Dev Challenges. If you're interested in getting into this, the coding space with development and Tableau or data visualizations and analytics in general, that is such a great tug to be a part of. Josh is part of it as well. You may have more you want to offer there, but he's also, and the Christian's also so he authors some of those challenges. He also is a speaker at Tableau conference last year and this year, maybe before. I just met him a year ago. So Joshua, do you want to add in here?
Oh no, I'd say we're very privileged to have Christian here. He actually was one of the folks that got me maybe an informal mentor, but definitely an inspiration to get more involved in the community and specifically take the leap into some of the data dev challenges. I'd recommend that for anybody who even just has an interest. You don't necessarily need to be a coder by trade. A lot of those exercises are really geared towards those folks who just kind of want to test the waters. So Christian's a great resource. Definitely indebted to him.
And with that, Christian, I'm going to pass the baton to you. I know you have some things prepared to share, including even a better intro slide for yourself than what I had. So please, sir, over to you.
Thank you for every of your words, and thank you, Joshua. To me, it's too many flowers. I, when I go back and think what I did and why I am here, basically lost all the histories in the middle. As Anne, I am a person that has a lot of experience in the data and analytics area. I begin with Oracle. Originally I started with a company. I mean, I started around 10 years old when my father got a computer before internet, before everything. Then as a kid, I know that every kid has a computer right now and know how to program in the school. My time was a few of us that can do that. Then I was blessed to have like a technology in my hands before everybody had it. Then sounds like I am out of the time because what everybody's doing now, I was doing 30 years ago. Then that is the big difference is that because I was alone was harder. I mean, I don't have access to databases. I don't have access to documents, to AI, to anything. I have to learn by myself all the time, and I don't have anyone to ask. Then saying that it's a long journey. I have like a 20 years working with data analytics as a professional. I am a system engineer, but at the same time, I believe that everybody can do what I am doing. I give this message all the time. You don't need to be an engineer. You don't need to be any person that is related with a specific programming, development, coding, any of these words. You can do it by yourself. And that is the strong message that I say all the time, and one of the things that I am trying to help in the Tableau community. Today, the topic that we are going to talk is about Tableau MCP. First, as Celia say, I am really active in the Tableau community. I am leading 3 talks, comunidades, that is Spanish. I am stepping out of career path maker, but I will continue helping the team there, and I'm really active in that data dev. A part of that, I am co-founder of Data Dev Quest, that I'm going to show you what is that today. Tableau Visionary, Tableau Ambassador, and also Certified Data Cloud Consultant. If you need to contact me, you have questions or anything, you can contact. The best way is contact me by LinkedIn. And also I am a scout leader, also a Order of Arrow scout leader. Then I love camping and I love anything related with outdoors. If you want to only chat, also you can connect with me. Today, I want to come back before go to MCP. I want to come back of, okay, what tools or what do we have in Tableau? Okay. Then in Tableau, we have Tableau Cloud. I mean, not Tableau Next. I'm talking about Tableau Classic right now. Then in Tableau, what we have is cloud-based and a server, right? Then under everything, you have access to databases. On top of these, you have relations that is the one that you basically have, okay, this table is connected with this table by this connection, and also have more information of metadata that is there. That is, for example, the order of the columns or alias or many things related that. All of these is the semantic layer, including the calculations and everything related with the model. Then on top of that, on the server, you have access to some tools that is called APIs. APIs is a way to say that a machine can connect with other machine to get some information, some data. Then for that, we have many tools in data depth. We have REST APIs, embedding, BDS, and a couple of more tools that I'm happy to tell you about that if you need to expand. And on the top of that, you have the frameworks that is around agents or agentic that is used by the tools that you can see, like a concierge in Tableau Next, or agent analysis in Tableau Cloud, or in server is going to have a one in the future is not established there, will come soon, about also have agents talking with the data. Then I show you this layer to basically you can understand, okay, how basically this works. In general, without give you a tool, because it's many ways to do this thing happen. In general, that happen is that a user can ask a question, and then there is a model that can connect with Tableau tools. And these Tableau tools that do is throw some questions, so the same, I mean, kind of a different question using some technologies like BSQL or the search table side or the retrieval, and with that, basically return a message with the result of this. Then one of the key things here is called BDS. Again, I am new. Maybe you never heard about this. Then it's a good opportunity to know what is this. BSQL Data Services, or BDS, in the past has the name of Headless BI. Basically, you can see it as a way to connect to publish a data source and do a query, something that you can ask directly to the data source by a command. Hey, give me this information that is what I want, and then allow you to connect with machines. Basically, in the top one, you have the traditional way that you have databases. These databases, you are connecting with published data sources, and these published data sources you are using by some workbooks. Then the published data sources, you can connect using a query that this query basically is BDS, is a JSON structure. And with that is the base of all of what we are talking about AI, okay? Then the another key point here is what is an agent? Because agent is also have many definitions. Everybody talk about AI and agents, but it's difficult to understand of what it is. And then I found this definition is, to me, the more clear one about what really is an agent, at least from the technology side. That is an autonomous system capable to learning about time and use LLMs to make a reasoning, to take a decision. And then with that can basically define a plan, execute actions, and resolve some specific goals using tools. Then each of these words has a real good definition inside. And the characteristics of what is capable to do is that it's autonomous, has perception, has memory, can make a resolution, can make a plan, and also use the tools and make action with that. Then keywords here is make a plan. I don't know if you saw some videos where you wrote a code and basically the agent create like a, okay, I'm going to basically do these steps. Or when you are asking to ChatGPT, is saying, oh, I'm searching in internet and then I'm going to take this and take that. There is a key change in the world of programming, because in the past, basically the person who developed the software is who define which one are the different rules that the software need to pass using conditions. Then the big difference between how I was doing in the past and now is that you allow that the computer by himself create the conditions. And like I'm going to do this first, this second, and then if I have this problem, I will try with this stuff. Then this plan is key. The tools part is another, and also another keyword, because tools is basically referring to functions that somebody develop, like a human develop, and then is going to be used by the agent. Then the next thing is give you like a, hey, then which one is the flow of this to make a decision? Basically, that happen is that agent make an input, then they connect with the LLM and do an interpretation of what is the goal to resolve. Because one is the input, the goal that the user asked. If you go to a chatbot, and you say, hey, give me which one is the number of sales that I did for this region, then the goal is to answer which one is that number, but maybe have a different context, and basically the machine need to have an interpretation for that. Then the first step is to the LLM try to understand what really the user wants. When that happens, the next step is like a selection of tools. Okay, which one are the tools, means functions that I have available that I can use to interpret and then answer the question that the user wants. After that, take a decision. After that, take a reflection and use the memory and the context in iterations to improve basically the goal that want to resolve. And in this side, I have some example of what it's doing is basically creating in this case, a VDS in Tableau. They retrieve some image, some metrics, then send some alert or search in Tableau sites. Then this is another example of what it's doing internally, step by step, but we can skip this one. The other thing that I want to show you is about data depth quests. And again, this is an introduction. I'm going to show more details later. But basically, data depth quests that happen is this. We have many years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, we was saying, hey, we have challenges for create new dashboard. We have a way to learn that using Makeover Monday, or we have a way to create like a makes you challenge of how I can resolve and do this dashboard by myself with a specific only, like I want to get this dashboard using work Wednesday. Then we were saying, hey, for the data depth area is those you don't have challenges, you don't have spaces to basically challenge yourself to learn about what we can do. Then, and we try to do this many times. In the last 5, I am a Tableau ambassador like 5 years ago, and we tried many times. But the last year, we basically meted many of us, and we were saying, why we don't have it? And then somebody come with the name, let's call it Data Dev Quest, and then I buy the domain and say, let's do it, and we start this journey. Then you can join to the Data Dev Quest page. It's really easy to remember, and you can try to by yourself. Then a part of that, we have many resources. We have a Slack workshop that you can go in there, ask questions, and then you can start learning. We have videos that we publish every time that we do a talk meeting and the data quest. And then you can join to our data dev Slack. We are older, the community one that is active. Then we keep it as separate, and our community is really big in the data dev area. Then let me go to the presentation now. I want to explain about what it is, the part of NCP. Then NCP basically is a way to interconnect different LLMs, different frameworks, different providers and vendors in one single way or protocol. You can think NCP as a USB. In the past, you have many type of connections cables, right? And you have many devices. And then you have a cool connector that you can connect with the desk. But when you try to connect your computer, basically has a different connector. And somebody create a USB and then make it or like a universal. And then now it's easier to connect the same charger to your phone and connect with a ECS desktop because that exists. Then in this case, Anthropic, that is one of the biggest and for me one of the best LLMs provider, then define a standard, and this standard begin to be used by the big ones. Then Google take it, then another take it, and then being that, then basically was popular, and because of that is important because it's a way to reconnect with AI, easy because it's already defined. Then if you want to learn about the real from where it's coming, this one is the source of the page. Then here say the architecture, how that works with the clients and everything related with that. The second part is that we have Tableau MCP. In the past, we worked with another project that was called LangChain. You have both of them active. Tableau MCP is using the standard of the Anthropic, that is MCP. But basically here in this GitHub repository is where you can get all the tools and everything to make it that works. This one is the source of the data. Now, in Data Quest, that is this page, we just changed the backgrounds and it's really cool now. Marcelo did a really amazing work here. Then, and let me show you faces in About Us in datadev.com. Basically, you can see the leaders. The current leaders is Jordan, Marcelo, and me. And we have also Kyle and Paula and Zach, that all of them was a co-founder of the Data Quest page. The only thing is that all of them was, Kyle just was promoted to work with Salesforce. Then he cannot be in the community active. I mean, he will continue to help us, but not as a leader in the community. And the same happened with the rest. Then currently Marcelo and me, and sorry, Jordan, Marcelo and me is the one who is making this working. We will have an announcement of a new person that is going to join to us. I am only waiting that confirm the last thing, but it's a surprise, and when I have it, I will share with everybody. Then in this Data Quest page, if you go to challenges, basically you have here all the challenges that we already did. It's a lot, right? When I come back, I say, oh, we already have like a 20 or more. And the idea is like we publish it two challenges per each 2 months, depends on the complexity of the challenge and also our availability. But the idea is like I have one that is basic, that everybody can follow and is easy to follow, and a second one that is a little more complicated, that we call it intermediate. It's not advanced in the way that you cannot do it. It's only a little more complicated and you will need to research more. But the format that we have is that, for example, for Tableau MCP, the first one that is beginner for cloud desktop, you will have a step-by-step. I am trying to do this in a way that everybody can do it. That if you're a doctor, you don't have any idea about how to program, I do no idea how to do this stuff, you can follow up. We are making a really hard, making that this works in this way, because again, we believe that it's only the barrier of the knowledge and but not means that you cannot do it. Okay, then in these challenges, you can basically follow the steps. We normally give additional resources if you want to learn more about this stuff, and basically show you how can you do it. In this case, that I am doing is connecting Tableau Cloud with Cloud Desktop, that is one of the providers, and then it's saying you step by step what you need to do. Basically, that you need to do in this case is download a code that here is going to say you how. You need to basically run these steps in previously, and then you need to configure some file. When you configure it, that this one is an example of how to do it, and then you are going to open Cloud Desktop, and when you have it, you will see in the developer area something like this that is saying that it's running. Now, at the end of each of these things that we do is create a challenge. And then in this case, the challenge is saying you, hey, what you can do with MCP, Tableau MCP. And one of the part of the documentation say which one is the tool list. Remember that in the past I told you tool is an important word for the agentic definition. Basically, tools, that means is that this is the list of things that the agent can do, or anything that you can define. Then in Tableau MCP, this is the list that is currently available. Then, for example, we can list the data sources, we can list the workbooks, we can list the views, everything like that. Then having a cloud, you can play with that. And in this case, I am connected with a sandbox. If you go to developertableau.com, you can have your own sandbox clicking here. Then the sandbox means that you can have a fully operational Tableau online for you. The condition here is that you cannot use it for commercial stuff. It's only for learning in DataDev, and basically you can have a full cloud version of Tableau that is, allow you to work with that if you never use it or you don't have the resources to use it. Then now that you are in the learning stuff in your university, then this is a good place to go. Coming back to cloud, basically that I did was I have my own site, and in this site you normally will get in samples this Superstore. Superstore is an old, I think that is from, I'm not sure if from the first version, but at least I saw from the version 9. And Tableau Superstore is a set of data that Tableau gives you that has some information about regions, about regions, about I forgot the orders. I'm missing the word. Categories. This one is the words I was trying to remember. Then you have product categories, subcategories, regions, etc. Then the first part of the challenge is that you are familiar with the data that is provided in Superstore. And then now you can use cloud to make questions using the tools that is listed here. Then, for example, if you want to say, to clarify, this is connecting with Tableau, and need to be this check mark done. And again, it's only follow the instructions in the data request challenge, and you will have it. But then you can do question like, for example, this one I say, list all the data sources and bring me all the data sources that I have in my site. And if you check in the details, you will see that the results, sorry, in the results is saying list data sources. That is the one that I show you here in the introduction. But you can ask more complex questions, like for example, you have any question that you want to ask in in the chat, only to make it more like everybody can participate.
Okay, team, let's cook up a question for him. Somebody in chat, what would you like to see from the Superstore data set, right, Christian? Okay, we got a question, a couple of questions here, Christian. To show the top 10 customers for some month, or to show the highest and lowest profitable products by year. Thank you, Ann and Chris, for jumping in.
Thank you. Okay, let me this one finalize, and I will continue with the other questions. In my case, I did a simple question that say, which one is the total by region? Now, looks like the agent, the first that is doing is try to understand what I asked, and that is why I confirm it like, hey, are you talking about sales? Are you talking about what? And then the second part that is the first part that I show you in the presentation. Then the next part is like a plan and make a decision of what tools is going to use. In this case, basically the tools, you can have it here that is make a query to the data source or search the available tools that is in Tableau MCP. And then basically doing that is going to answer the questions and then give the information that you have from Tableau the same way that you can have it from the dashboard. Let's try with the second one. I am using the Chris one to show in live how this works. Chris, any specific mode or do you want us? Because and here comes something very interesting. For us, something that is obvious, for the machine is not. Then asking the correct questions, this art of development of correct questions, me neither. I was thinking about that. You're right. It's more like a years. Then asking the correct questions is an art that you will develop using Tableau ecosystem. And it's not only the product, it's the books, it's the community, it's the team, because at the end, Tableau is not a software to make dashboards. And that is a really bad understanding of the product. Tableau, what want to do is basically help you to create a correct questions, and with that, you can get answers and take decisions. Seen in this way, now than ever, is more important to develop the skills of create these questions. Then with Tableau tools, you can basically develop that. And when I say now than never, it's because right now, everything related with AI, I hate why, but that is the trending that is happening is around prompting. Like ask the question. If you don't do the correct questions, then you don't get the correct answers. And that is more important than ever. Then I am going to use the second one that Anne just put me. And this is more like an example of what you can do with Tableau MCP using a local desktop in your machine.
Christian, I have a quick question for you while this is loading.
Sure.
Is this mostly leveraging resources that are cloud-based, or is it also needing to have a certain amount of compute cycles available, strength of system, space on your system? Where are the resources and what do you need to have to make this happen?
Okay, there are many things in your question. The first one is what is
Sorry
used
about that.
internally is first in the Tableau side is something called BDS, Metadata API, and REST APIs. Then each of them has a different limitation. For example, BDS in cloud is 100 queries by hour by number of users that you have by creator. Then if you are making and a queries, I mean, make 100 queries is really quick that you can consume because internally it's trying to do many queries to answer one single question. Then this is the first limitation that you will have. This limitation don't exist in Tableau Server. It's only in Tableau Cloud. The second one is about the LLM. The LLM per se is also using tokens, and the tokens has a limitation of how many tokens you can ask. Depends on the plan that you are connected. Then the free version has a quantity of tokens. If you pay some money, they give you more tokens. And then if it's not enough, they have more plans to pay and continue paying more. And depends of each of them with the LLM that you have. This one is Anthropic Cloud, but with ChatGPT has a complete different, like a market solution for you to pay different more, right? But at the end, in general, this is kind of the limitation that you will have with AI in general.
Yeah, okay, makes sense.
The second challenge is if you want to do something like create your own application, the second challenge that is here is basically showing you the same that you did with the Tableau MCP and desktop and cloud desktop, but created basically an application. In this case, when I say terminal chat, is something that doesn't have an interface. It's only a prompt directly in by command using Python and using ChatGPT. Then again, follow the instructions. I'm not going to show how to do it here, but follow the instructions. And at the end that you will have is some code similar to this one that, by the way, you don't scare about that. The code is here in the challenge. At the end of the challenge, basically say copy and paste this and use it. You will need to configure the connection. You will need a configure ChatGPT in this case as a developer. You will need to configure LangFuse as a developer too, and then use it. And again, I explain all of that step by step in the challenge. But basically, what it's doing is that you can connect and use your own application. And in this case, I created a Python script using terminal chat, and this terminal chat basically is going to show exactly as was happening with a cloud desktop, but in an application that you develop. Then these open the scenarios that you can create your own fully applications operational that use AI. And basically you can do things in your business like, hey, the information is in Tableau. And with this information, I want to automate something, for example, for sales or for supply chain or for many things internally in your company. For example, take this scenario. Normally, you have the databases as the source of the data, but these databases are not curated, means the people that take the decision doesn't have access to these databases. Then happened to me many times. I worked in the past in a telecom company that basically the antennas that connect the phones is physically in a region, but it's not the same that is in the databases. Then the end user that is handling really the product say, no, that is wrong and should be here. And in Tableau, it's really easy to change the value or reorganize the data using groups, for example. Then if you notice in that way, the real information that you want to take is the last mile. and the last mile is in the hands of the people who take the decisions. Then that answers one of the questions. Why I cannot connect using the source data instead of use Tableau? Is because Tableau has more critical information than the source data. The second part is, now that you have the data there, you want to have the create tools that help to the people take decisions. And the dashboard is one of them. But for example, if you have a map, and this map is connected with some sensors, and the sensors, for example, send some message, and you need that have an instant response with some conditions, you want to avoid that the person is connected with that. Then you can create an application using this example and solve that problem, because it's connected with Tableau, is basically bring the data, take a decision with AI, and send the information to the sensor that needs. I don't recommend to do that with critical scenarios like I don't know, someone that is driving an airplane or something that can kill people. No, be careful with the decision that you are taking, but it's going to help to automate everything that is in your life. And to close, I'm not sure if I passed the time, but I have a cool demo that I did in the last ERTC, and I want to show it. Do I have still time, or I passed the time?
I would love to see it. If you're up against a hard stop and you need to go, we'll have this as a part of the recording. And but thank you for joining with us, and we put the links into the chat for you to get started. So please grab that before you head out. But Cristian, I would love to have that as part of the recording here. So let's go ahead and proceed. And anyone who has the flexibility to stay, we'd love to have you stay. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for that, Celia. Then I will try to do it quick anyway to respect the time of everybody.
That's great. Thank you.
Then basically that I did is that Tableau Public is one of the biggest sources that you have to know how to do dashboard, to learn from other people in the community. Then basically I took the Marvel Cinematic Universe network. I asked Stefana, she's a really great resource, nice person. And I asked her really, hey, can I take your dashboard and reuse it? This dashboard, I love it. The data that is here is representing all the characters of the Marvel comics connected by the movies. And then all of these lines that you saw here is basically the interconnection between the characters, and has all the characters here. Then I was thinking, hey, what I can do to visualize this in a different way, using the knowledge that I have and also helping with AI. And then that I did is copy the workbook and install it in the sandbox. I already showed you how you can get a sandbox. And then this data source has the film network. And one of the things that took me my attention is that the film network has the link between the characters, and told me like, hey, this character is connected with this other character by this way. Then that I did is use this link to create this interconnection in a 3D environment using a JavaScript library that is called 3GS. And now I have a way to show all the connections there interconnected as the dashboard is doing. And this is connecting with the Tableau data sources directly. Then I can basically check, oh, which one are the connection with this guy? Or show, oh, this person is connected with these other guys that is here, and have a lot of information. But if you notice, it's a complex data. I mean, take decision over this thing is difficult, right? Then that is why I added the part of the Tableau MCP. And I basically, this was using LangChain, and I am updating to have it MCP, but the back end is at the end the same using BDS. That is the part that I showed you at the beginning. Then here I can do some questions that will, how this is working is that I have an application that is similar to the Tableau second challenge. That is an application that basically go to BDS, ask questions to the data source using the tools that Tableau provided me, and basically do questions with a prompt and then get answered directly as you can do it with the prompt, basically. Then the second part is that I'm going to visualize some table information. I give this how many characters I have in this database, and basically give me 213. And the second question is about show me a table with the powers and abilities that has here. Also is part of the data source. It's taking time to resolve. And you can visualize it the same using the dashboard, and it's going to give you the same number that is here. But I can do things that in the dashboard I cannot do. For example, I want to know what is goose. If you know about the character, goose is the cat. And then when I say what is the goose, I interconnected my application with the AI. And this begin to open a new world because it's not only prompting, it's also interconnecting applications that do something else. A part of the, then basically I'm using Tableau as the source data. I'm using the visualization that is 3D as an application. I'm using the AI, and now all of them are interconnected. Then if you see here, you basically, the machine found the cat and focus the camera of the 3D environment only in the cat. Then a part of that, give me, hey, which one are the ones that are interconnected with them, right? Then another thing that is really interesting to me in the AI world is that I can say the same. Okay, now show me Spider-Man. And it's going again to move, and it's going to give me Spider-Man. But notice here something really important. Spider-Man is rated Spider Space Man. The database is Peter Parker / Spider -Man. That is one of the biggest problems that we have with data, that is basically match the names. Without this correct matching, it's not going to give me the correct answer. And it's a pain that we have, every person that works in data. If by one letter is missing, basically that don't give more the data that we need. With AI, is smart enough to understand that the Peter Parker that you want to have is Peter Parker / Spider-Man as a Spider-Man. The second one is another really cool thing that I love with AI is now I have a data source, but what happens when I don't have information of the data source? There is another scenario that, okay, you have some knowledge that you can take decision, but it's missing part of the knowledge that is outside. Then in this example, I am asking what means Jarvis, and give me the answer of what it is. And Jarvis is not in the data source that was provided by the example that I have. Then that will help to take decisions using AI plus Tableau. Another example that is here is, okay, let me show you this example that is also cool. It's about, now I want to know between Tony Stark and his family who is interconnected. This is a complex example. If I say, okay, give me a Tony Stark, and all of these people is connected with Tony Stark by the movies. But if I want all the family and say, for example, his father, do you remember the name of the father of Tony Stark and the mother and the daughter? Howard, yes. Howard, do you remember the mother name and the daughter? Or let me check by Stark. Yes, I guess Maria and Morgan. Then now that I have, and this part is also cool from the interface that I did. Now I have a set of data, but it's a complex question if I want to know between using the interconnection of the family. I want to know the relation between the father and Tony Stark, only these people that is here. It's a complex query if you try to write it with SQL, because you have many sets of data and you need to use this set, and then intercept between them and union between these two. And it's difficult to do this query. Then how can I get this information? Is basically I can say to the AI, okay, give me which one are they connected between the father and Tony, and it's going to give me basically which one are the list of the person that are there, but also is going to give me the why. Because one thing that the machine found is that between them are connected by the same movies. Then it's going to tell me that all of them are basically connected with Iron Man 2. That is also help me to take the decisions. Oh, the movie that I need to see is Iron Man 2 if I want to know more about the relation between Howard and Iron Man. Then, as I say, this one is only a cool show about how you can do what you can do with Tableau MCP and AI in general and Tableau, but it's to show you the potential of problems that you can solve with this new world.
That's really nice, Christian. Thank you for that.
I don't know if you have any questions or sorry if I give you too much. I don't know. Sometimes I'm really happy doing this stuff, and then maybe it's too technical or too
It's
deep
all good.
or
Yeah, all good, all good. Yeah, and Efrain, thank you for your contributions to the channel. That's been really fun to see. Yeah, appreciate that. All right, team. Well, I'm gonna just say thank you very much for being here today, and we'll look forward to hopefully connecting with you online in in between. But if not, I would love to see you guys at the end of April. And please consider a Tableau conference and check out Data Devs, the Data Quest site, and then also the user group for that as well if you're interested in exploring that space as well. So I highly recommend it. So with that, we'll just thank you for your time, and we'll see you in a future event. Thank you so much for coming. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ann and Christian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you too very much.
Thanks. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
You too.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys. See ya.
Anne.